Well, it seems Capcom wants to sell you Resident Evil for much more money than it's worth. If you own a iPhone or if you own a digital phone or tablet or something like that, could you imagine sitting down at work, sitting there playing Resident Evil on your break? Well, that's what Capcom is eyeing, but they are charging full price for the game. They want you to pay the game price that you would have paid on the PS5 or your PC, but this time it's for your phone.
You gotta be kidding me.
These games, Resident Evil, aren't the types of games that I think I would be playing at work. They're not the type of games. What are you gonna do? You're gonna sit there with your phone. You're gonna go to the bathroom and sit there and play Resident Evil the whole time you're in there? No, they're gonna scare the crap out of you, literally. Is that the idea here? You're going to fork over upwards to $60, if not more, because they have added content for this. It's just absurdity. Let's take a look. Well, before we get fully into this topic, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, all those fun things that YouTube likes. What's good for the algorithm is good for the channel and everything for growth, and you guys help me continue pushing forward, making videos like this one. If you have comments also, leave them down below, because the more comments there are, the more interactions you do, the better off these videos do. Well, the iPhone 15 Pro version of Resident Evil 4 Remake will cost $60. I find this absolutely absurd for a phone game. Most phone games are free with transactions you do in there, the gotcha transactions. But this in particular is going to allow you to play Resident Evil 4 on your iPhone. That's absurd. It's absolutely absurd to think about at this point. We are now at the point in life where a Game Gear or a Game Boy is encapsulated in our phone, and now we're paying full price for those games. You know what? It's your money. It's do what you want. Maybe you got a long car trip. Maybe that's something that's going to help in that sense, or a long airplane trip, as long as it doesn't require to be online during the time, which in most cases, online phone games require that. Mobile games require an online database. But how does this one work in particular? Yeah, I remember the iPhone or Apple sat there and banned the Super Nintendo emulators. The emulators you could download to your phone, but now they're saying, okay, Capcom is doing their full game. We're going to release the game in particular on your iPhone, and you're going to be able to play it wherever you want on your iPhone. Imagine sitting down at work for your lunch break and playing Resident Evil 4. How much will you actually get there? Now, at the same time, they also show here that there's going to be DLCs and upgrades that you can buy as microtransactions for Resident Evil 4. That's absurd. That's absolutely absurd. You know, there's games out there, the gotcha games that are absolutely free to play, and then you do all these other things. They sell you out on there where people drop thousands of dollars on them for that little hit, that little wonder. But this is Resident Evil 4. This isn't the type of gotcha game that you're going to expect on an iPhone or a phone. Apple revealed its latest iPhone models earlier this month and stated that the upcoming iPhone 15 Pro will be capable of playing console-quality games. That's absurd. That's absolutely insane. This makes the PS5 look like a brick. If you don't get that joke, go look up bricking an iPhone. One of the first games aimed to prove its claim is Capcom's iPhone 15 Pro port of the Resident Evil 4 Remake, which is set to be released on the device later this year. However, it appears the console standard games will come with console standard pricing. That's the absurdity of all of this. You can't sit there and just emulate to your phones. You actually have to pay for the game all over again. It's not cross-play like we see with PlayStation 5 onto the Vita or the Switch in particular. It is, you're paying again out the ass for a AAA style game to come out on your phone. The game is now available for pre-order on the iOS store, those so only with devices capable of playing it. So the iPhone 15 Pro, the Max, and some iPad Pro and iPad Air models. So you're going to be able to play this on an iPad. You know, honestly, if you, like I said, if you're taking a long trip, this might be the game that you could to sit there and buy. But why wouldn't you take your Switch instead? Why wouldn't you take the next generation PlayStation Portable, the newer version of the Vita? Why wouldn't you just take those? Why be subject to a phone that's going to suddenly interrupt your game that you're in the middle of combat by getting a phone call on it, or a text message, or a pop-up, or something that's going to eat up your data even more? Is this going to require an online presence to play Resident Evil 4? Because if that's the case, then this is dead in the water, completely dead in the water, if you can't play this in airplane mode. Now, with Apple, is this really what you want to be spending your money on? You're spending your money on, what, a $1,500 phone, if not more at this point, and then turning around and buying Resident Evil 4. The Switch is only, what, $400, and it's portable in that sense, and you can still play this as long as it's not graphics like Mortal Kombat 1, but it still seems to me a more viable option, and then you don't have to eat up your data, you don't have to do this, you don't have to do that, and in particular, the iPhone is breaking at a moment's notice. Imagine getting mad at dying in Resident Evil 4 and then you throw your phone all of a sudden. This is what you're looking at. This is what you're going to end up with, is an iPhone that's an absolute piece of shattered material. That's what's going to happen there. You're no longer going to throw your Wii controller through the screen. You're going to throw the screen. That's where we're going in this model. Now, when it all comes down to it, yeah, it's your money. What am I to say where to put your money? But hey, if you got some extra money lying around, maybe leave a tip on the video, because it can go a long way, in all honesty. If you have $1,100 or $1,500 to spend on an iPhone, then another $60 to spend on Resident Evil, I think you can give your fellow YouTubers a little pocket change, maybe a coffee here and there. Anyway, things are just, they're just crazy in this world. We're seeing phone games coming out that are console quality, like Resident Evil 4. What is next on the console wars? What is the next thing that we're going to come out with on a phone that's going to just blow me and many people away that were capable of doing these things? The Game Gear and the Game Boy was revolutionary for its time. Look where it is now. Anyway, I'm your proud Canadian Phoenix, Cinder Shadow. I'm signing off here. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you all very soon.